Hi folks, I'm just checking to see if I'm live or not here. Now I'm live, here we go. I was just talking to myself for a moment, never mind. These things happen in the best of families. So welcome this afternoon, and a little chat I want to have with you now, whether you're watching this live, you may be, or perhaps later in replay, it's entirely up to you. But I just thought I wanted to jump on for a few minutes. This is actually quite an adventure for me because anything I've done in the past, I've always had my better half, Marie, my partner in crime, side by side. So she's busy elsewhere. So I'm having a go at doing this myself. And so it could be interesting. But let's have fun anyway for the next 10 minutes or so. And just chat about something which I think has really intrigued me in the last week or so. And I guess I put that into a title simply is, what has the game of hopscotch got to do with the game of life? Now, an interesting topic you might think, and I want to go through that, but first I just want to mention that if that intrigues you, and if you find what we talk about today of interest, don't forget that, well perhaps you don't know anyway yet, but you do know now, the next Wednesday at 1:30, that's 2 days time, we've got our next webinar, which we've called The Genius Profile, your blueprint for living the life you were born for. And we're going to spend some time really delving deep into what a person's genius is and how they can understand it and make it work for them in their life. So if you want to know more about that, it's on my Facebook page, but you can also just send me a message if you want to ask questions or check out the details that way. So yeah, that's for Wednesday. But right now, I want to talk about something, as I said, hopscotch, good old hopscotch. And I think it's something which I found interesting, so perhaps you might, in that hopscotch has been around forever. We know it as a game for kids. We've all played it, no doubt. I know I have, a long time ago perhaps. But it's got so many different so-called histories. For example, many say that it started some 3,000 years ago in ancient Rome. And I think the military are using it for exercises to get ready for war and so forth. But you know, in China, India, America, have all had their versions. But the ultimate line behind, or the aim behind the game, is to require the players to jump into specific squares in a certain order, in a certain way, to reach that end. And of course, the one who gets there without jumping on lines, falling over, etc., is the winner. And you might think, well, that's very nice, you know, because I remember playing it and I fell out and I had to go back and start again. I didn't feel good about it. And you can imagine how many, as kids, how many of us didn't want to play because we knew we were going to hit a line or fall over, or how many of us thought, I'm really good at this, just watch what I can do. How many just wanted to have the game of competition? The point is, hopscotch is a game of a lot of different things. It's mental, it's physical, it's connecting with people and things, it's a lot of stuff. But there's more. You see, in my little world, and the world that Marie and I play in, we did a lot of research and uncovering things because it's fascinating. And we found out that actually there's a link to ancient China with hopscotch, would you believe? And put it this way, it's something which is very, very interesting because they saw hopscotch as symbolizing life itself. They said, for example, that the drawn lines for your squares represent obstacles in life. And the final square at the end was heaven. And each marker you would throw represented your soul or your being. And of course, the aim of the game for them was to reach heaven, gaining success in the various life elements along the way and avoiding uncertainty in the process. So each of those squares was a particular life element in their mind. And that's how they played it. And I found that, when I read that, to be really, really interesting. I just thought, wow, because I mean, we do a lot of study on Chinese culture and medicines and theory of the elements and energies, etc. And to find this, I thought, I've got to share this because it's really, I think, something quite interesting. Because they saw it as a really important thing in life. We see it as a game. However, there's not much difference after that. Like, for example, each player has to go and do the same act, that of jumping into the same square as everybody else. They've got to follow a predetermined sequence to reach the end successfully. There's no allowance made for each person's ability to jump or maintain balance or be strong in each leg. Each player is seen to be the same abilities, desires, goals, skills as everybody else. Everybody has the same rules to follow, and every player has the same goal in mind, to reach the final square, probably the most effective and the most quickly. So, again, thinking back to you were a kid, is it any wonder that some kids were really good at this, some kids were really bad at this, and they struggle? Is it any wonder, like you mentioned before, some kids don't even want to play because they know they're not going to enjoy themselves? So that's hopscotch. So imagine right now in our current world where everybody was the same vision, same beliefs, same physical skills, same thoughts, same talents, etc., etc. You get the point. But of course, that's totally unbelievable. It's not going to happen, not in any foreseeable world we know about. However, imagine if each square represented steps that needed to be taken to achieve a particular goal in life. Let's start thinking how the old Chinese thought about it. For example, a square could be for personal success, a square could be for relationships, one could be for good health, one could be for a great family life, etc., etc. The end point of the game, therefore, was to avoid the obstacles, would be to avoid the obstacles and uncertainty and reach the end goal, what you're after, which means you have to avoid poor health, relationship breakdown, job loss, business failure, all the things that we have to encounter in life. And so if you think about it, life as a game and hopscotch as a game isn't much different. In both occasions, we've got things to achieve by getting into that particular spot and making it work. And if it doesn't work, we're kicked out, we've got to do it again. And that becomes very difficult when you think about how different we all are. And this is a point about Wednesday's webinar, I suppose. And I want to quote, I'd wish to say it's a friend of mine, but obviously not, but someone I admire enormously, which is Albert Einstein. And I use this quote a lot because I'm not a fan of quotes, but I'm a fan of brilliant people. And he said, everyone is born a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it's stupid. Think about that. Imagine a fish flying. Well, there is one, but anyway, in normal times. People you see are unique. They have their own suite of natural talents, their behaviours, their challenges, their own view of how they want to move through life, their way, for their reasons. Therefore, they've got their own genius at work here. So to expect everyone to follow the same steps, whether it's hopscotch or life itself, and to access the steps equally effectively and not fail, is nothing short than expecting a miracle to happen. We each have our own unique approach to life, and it's represented by what we call your personal holistic genius. Your personal holistic genius. And it's a pretty cool thing when you start to work out what that means for you, because it just gives you access to greater understanding and greater suite of resources than you would have possibly thought for yourself, as you learn more about yourself and how you can actually do things in your world, in whatever area it might be. Like I said, it could be health, it could be family, relationships, work, it doesn't matter. What matters is that you've got a genius, and if you know how to put it to good use, you can achieve success that you want on your terms, in your way. But if life was like the game of hopscotch, how many people would fail? How many people would give up? How many people would just not fit in? Because the bottom line to this, why I'm saying it this way, is because we know in reality that as people, kids growing up into adulthood, teenage adulthood and onwards, we're forced to fit in and follow the same pathway as has been shown to us by our parents in the first place. So it's modelling, it's learned behaviours, external influences, from parents to siblings to friends at school to college, university, etc., and even back in finally into the working life, fitting in. I want to be in the team. I want to be a part of things. I want people to like me. And so we exposing ourselves to never being the genius that we really could be. We're so busy trying to be what everybody else tells us to be. And perhaps at the same time, jagging who we naturally are, but oftentimes missing it. So we've got to understand, I think it's important that we do have our own unique blueprint, every one of us, our own personal genius that we can employ by knowledge, skills, and commitment towards doing what we want to do in life, and do it our way, and do it in a way that we get satisfied with doing, and feeling good about ourselves. I mean, life's short. Why not do it the way you were supposed to do it? And so, I think what I wanted to say is, let's look at hopscotch. Now you're thinking about it, and let's look at life itself and draw those analogies. Jumping through squares, meaning I'm jumping through the hoops I was told to jump through all my life. I'm trying to reach that goal. Chinese call it heaven. We could just call it, for example, good health, etc., as we mentioned before. It doesn't matter. It's the process. It says, if I'm going to fall over, I'm going to feel bad about myself. I'm going to feel this is not good enough. I'm going to give up. I'm going to feel frustrated. But when you know your genius, you can do more. You can be more. You can achieve more. And with that in mind, I just want to finish that point, let you think about hopscotch for a while, and remind you that on Wednesday afternoon, 1:30, that's the 21st at 1:30, is our webinar, The Genius Profile, your blueprint for living the life you were born for. And of course, as I say, if you want details, please get in touch with me on Facebook, and we can organise very quickly to let you know what's expected, what you can get out of the hour or so. And yeah, it'd be really great to catch you all then. So thanks for listening, and bye for now.